Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys sign veteran Super Bowl champ attempting comeback. Since we last saw former fourth-round draft pick Damian Wilson in a Dallas Cowboys uniform, he's had a pretty wild ride. Wilson was a Cowboys employee from 2015 to 18 and did not miss a game in those 4 seasons. Starting 22 games and appearing in 64, he was not brought back after his rookie contract, though, and moved on to Kansas City for 2 seasons, where he started all 30 games he appeared in and helped the Chiefs to a Super Bowl win in 2019. His last 3 years, well, he signed with the Jaguars in 2021, and the team went 3-14. Then he moved on to Carolina, and the Panthers went 7-10, firing their coach mid-season. Last year, at age 30, Wilson went the entire season without an NFL snap to his credit. He was with the Dallas practice squad. But now Wilson is packing up all those highs and lows and hoping to make a triumphant comeback. He returning to the Cowboys on an active roster contract, having signed on to join a linebacking crew that was devoid of depth last season following the injury to Leighton Vander Esch, and had to use hybrid safety Marquise Bell next to Damone Clark. Damian Wilson on a veteran minimum contract. Dallas Morning News beat reporter Michael Gelkin noted on Twitter X that Wilson was signed on Monday using a veteran's benefit, which allows Wilson to sign for the minimum amount due an 8-year veteran $1.2 million, plus a $167,000 signing bonus, but only count against the cap as a 2-year veteran, which means his hit will be $1.15 million, $985,000 plus $167,000. Gelkin reported, Cowboys signed LB Damian Wilson today to a 1-year deal with the veteran salary benefit structure. A person familiar with situations said, more depth at linebacker. Wilson spent end of last season on team's practice squad. There is some irony, of course, to the return of Wilson to the Cowboys' stable of linebackers. That's because when he left the team in 2019 to sign with the Chiefs, he was a high-value player. But the Cowboys were too deep at linebacker to warrant keeping him around. Vander Esch and Jalen Smith were ensconced as starters, and Sean Lee was still part of the rotation. The Kansas City deal for Wilson was a bargain. The Chiefs got a starter for 2 years and $5.75 million. Cowboys linebacker corps in need of help now. Wilson is returning to a much different situation in Dallas. Vander Esch was forced to retire because of a persistent neck injury that he hurt again in Week 5 of this season. Smith was outstanding for several seasons in Dallas, but had trouble staying healthy, too, and was released. The Cowboys drafted DeMarvion Overshown last year in the 3rd round and expected him to be a rookie contributor, but a torn ACL knocked him out for the season. He should be back in action this year, and the hope is that he can work his way into the team's rotation in the middle. Cowboys sign Speedy receiver who makes explosive catches. The Dallas Cowboys remain busy in the days following the 2024 NFL Draft. The Dallas Morning News' Michael Gelkin reported that the team met with wide receiver Tyron Billy Johnson on April 30, 2024, with the expectation that the team would consider signing the wideout. Hours later, the Cowboys made Billy Johnson's signing official, along with Ezekiel Elliott. Cowboys RB Ezekiel Elliott's signing may be officially processed Tuesday. Gelkin detailed in an April 30, 2024 message on X, so could another. WR Tyron Billy Johnson, a speedster who spent most of last season on practice squad, is visiting team and may sign upon completion of a physical. 2 people familiar with situations said. Billy Johnson spent the majority of last season on the Cowboys practice squad, but did not play in a game. The veteran signed a practice squad deal with Dallas on August 30th, but the team released the wideout on January 4th. Potential Dallas Cowboys receiver Tyron Billy Johnson ran a 4.34 second 40-yard dash. Billy Johnson offers the Cowboys elite speed, posting a 4.34 second 40-yard dash. This speed has not necessarily translated to production at the NFL level. The receiver's best season came with the Los Angeles Chargers in 2020, when Billy Johnson posted 20 receptions for 398 yards and 3 touchdowns in 12 appearances. Billy Johnson also has special teams experience as a returner, something increasingly valuable given the recent NFL rule changes. The playmaker last played with the Houston Texans and Las Vegas Raiders in 2022. The wideout also suited up with the Jacksonville Jaguars during his career. Tyron Billy Johnson scouting report. Geared to get down the field and make explosive catches. After a promising collegiate season at Oklahoma State, Billy Johnson went undrafted in 2019. The wideout posted 53 receptions for 845 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2018. Heading into the 2019 NFL Draft, NFL.com's Lance Zierlein praised Billy Johnson's speed and ability to make explosive catches. Deep ball specialist with ability to take the top off defenses, Zierlein wrote in his pre-draft profile of the receiver. Johnson's game is geared to get down the field and make explosive catches, but the rest of his skill set is still very raw. While he can force safeties away from the line of scrimmage, he's not an instinctive route runner and gives too many clues away to cornerbacks who will swarm his breaks as a pro. He has great deep speed to get into a camp, but shaky hands and modest production may foreshadow an uphill climb. Cowboys news. Ex-Dallas receiver Michael Gallup signed with the Las Vegas Raiders. Dallas released Michael Gallup in March, but the Cowboys have been quiet at the position throughout the offseason. The Cowboys have yet to make a significant veteran addition at receiver. Dallas waited until the 6th round to draft their first receiver in Southeast Missouri State's Ryan Flournoy. Gallup finally found a new home after signing a 1-year deal with the Raiders. Former Cowboys WR Michael Gallup agreed to a 1-year contract with the Raiders. A person familiar with the deal said. Gelkin said in an April 29th message on X, "It's worth up to $3 million. Fresh start for him. He is healthy, more than 2 years removed from his ACL and MCL tears." 3 reasons why bringing Ezekiel Elliott back can benefit the Cowboys in 2024. Yes, the Dallas Cowboys should have drafted a running back. It was shocking that it didn't take place. However, there's no need to cry over spilled milk because the NFL draft is long gone now, and the Cowboys decided to address their running back room with a familiar face. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he has returned. Ezekiel Elliott, the Cowboys' former first-round pick in 2016, who spent last season with the New England Patriots, is back in Dallas on a 1-year deal. Elliott's departure was understandable from a financial standpoint on the Cowboys' behalf, although both sides did try to work something out before the 2023 campaign. Now that he's making his return, here are 3 reasons how Elliott being back on the roster helps the 2024 version of the Cowboys. Locker room morale. This might be the most underrated aspect of playing in the NFL. Every team has talent, even the ones that don't win a lot. However, it's the camaraderie and brotherhood that takes things to the next level. Despite how his skills may have dwindled in some respects, Elliott was always a leader in the locker room. Don't believe me that Elliott galvanized the locker room. This is what 9-time All-Pro right guard Zach Martin had to say about him in 2022. It's important to note that this was during a time when the team reduced Elliott's role, rightfully so, in favor of Tony Pollard. He was still a leader and was even seen on the sidelines cheering for Pollard when he was battling injuries. That type of dedication to the team is infectious. To piggyback off Martin, guidance in the running back room. Elliott has seen the highest of highs in the NFL, and they started as soon as he stepped on the field. He led the league in rushing as a rookie, a very rare accomplishment. Over the next 3 seasons, Elliott would lead the league in rushing yards per game, win another rushing title, and finish 4th in rushing and 2nd in all-purpose yards. 2019. Then, there's having his reps reduced at the tail end of Pollard's time in Dallas, which surely wasn't easy despite his team-first mentality. Having seen it all, Elliott can be a good mentor to a guy like Deuce Vaughn, who barely played as a rookie in 2023. Although Rico Dowdle and Royce Freeman are both veterans, they only have 9 starts between them and just over 2,000 yards total in 9 combined NFL seasons up until this point. Whether if it's in Dallas or elsewhere in the future, Elliott can show them how to navigate as the lead dog while also guiding those behind you. After all, being RB1 comes with a ton of responsibility.